I will say we are loving that you're joining Taste of Nashville. This is our all-girls show.
It is. We've got girl host, girl guest, and we've got a lady here that I have been wanting to talk to since I found out that it's going to be on your show today.
Registered
a lot of questions.
Dietitian. She's got so many letters behind her name. You need the whole alphabet to put them all together. But she is a registered dietitian. Wendi Earlbeck is with us. And did you just set up a spot in Nashville? Is the Nashville area new to you?
Well, thank you for having me. I have been in Nashville for 3 years. I started my private practice in East Lansing, Michigan, and I'm a Minnesota native, and I was tired of the Midwest cold, and I was like, I'm going to pray about it, and the Lord brought me to Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been here ever since.
It wasn't because you just looked at us and you said, they look so unhealthy. I'm going to get in there and help them. Can you tell me what can motivate me to just get up off the couch and just turn off my electronics? Because I'm either on my laptop all the time or watching YouTube. I'm constantly on the couch.
It's a great question. Purpose, having a reason to get out of bed every day. And we know that TV, cell phones, those things are all distractions. So getting outside, getting out in nature, that will motivate you because you're going to feel so much joy and you're going to get energized from movement. You're not going to want to go sit on the couch or be in front of your phone because you see the benefits of getting up and about more.
Yeah, well, I bought a bike. It was too much trouble. So then I got an electric bike. Then I had to remember to charge it. I mean, I'm giving myself excuses.
There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. There's always a good excuse usually. But at the same time, you're right, is that if you shut down some of the virtual connection stuff, if you just shut it down for just a little bit, all of a sudden being outside has a way of making you feel better.
It has. And earthing. I don't know if you're into the earthing, the grounding part where you take your shoes off. You want to tell us about that?
Absolutely. So there's actually a great deal of research to support the reduction in your blood pressure. It reduces stress, anxiety, and a lot of busy parents, a lot of kids now too, there's a lot of anxiety with all the devices. So there's a great deal of research that 20 minutes of grounding daily can help bring down blood pressure, anxiety, depression, which I think is a very good thing to do.
And does it mean you have to take off your shoes and your bare feet and stand on grass, or can you stand on concrete if you live in the city?
Preferably getting into the grass, into the dirt, gravel. Any of our clients and athletes that travel, we tell them especially get outside of your hotel, go in the grass there, take off your shoes, and just allow the earth to energize you.
Yeah, there's actual electrical energy that comes up from the earth.
That's correct.
Yeah, I saw something on YouTube where somebody held those, the meters, the electric pulse meters,
yes,
and they held onto them, and when they stood on the ground, all of a sudden the meter goes nuts. The electric current that comes up through, and that's why you feel better when you go outside and you literally get in the grass or get some organic vitamin D. I want to talk about, okay, here's the deal, fat kids. Never was that a thing. Now we have kids. You couldn't get us to come in when we were younger. You could not get us to come inside. We played outside. Our parents didn't even know where we were.
If we were dead or alive.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
I mean, if the street lights came on, you know to come home, or Mama's going to get a switch. But that's how you knew to come home. But now it's a totally different thing. Kids don't want to even go outside. And we're seeing younger and younger and younger heart issues and things like that. How do you deal with someone who's got a teenager or an adolescent who comes to you? And by the way, Wendi does all of her work. She has a virtual practice. So you have clients all over the world.
Yes, ma'am. So the blessing is that I grew up with a really incredible childhood in which my mother wasn't present and my dad instilled a great deal of discipline. So we were always outside doing chores. So I have taken my childhood adversity and applied it to the kids and the situation now. So parents will consult with us that, for example, I have worked with a young kid that had over 100 pounds to lose, and how we did that was small changes. We changed his routine. Wake up, drink water. Wake up and get 20 grams of protein within 20 minutes, because protein helps support appetite regulation. It helps power up your day. And how we start our day sets the tone for the entire day. So a part of the problem with kids is they wake up and they're on their screens. They're on their screens for over 4 hours a day. So getting the screens away for the first hour of the day, getting up, getting a walk, drinking water, eating protein, and the whole family should be doing that, not just kids.
I was going to ask, does this work for grown-ups too?
Yes, it does.
Okay, did you guys hear that? Okay, the first thing, wake up, drink water, walk around, don't look at your screen first.
Correct. 20 grams of protein within 20 minutes.
Does that include bacon?
Yes, you can. All foods fit. And that's a big part of our challenges right now, too, with kids, is that some are on such restrictive diets that they binge eat. So a big part of what my team and I do is we help create balance and we restore the sustainability of eating well, eating to nourish. Because when you eat well, you feel well. So a balanced plate, you could do a little bit of bacon, maybe some apple and peanut butter, an egg, and you're out the door, or even a protein fruit smoothie. I have a ton of recipes that I share on my website as well as on social media.
What about the shakes and the protein bars? Are those okay, or are those just candy bars just
Gotta look for
disguised?
sugar.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, it depends. So if you make your own, I would prefer that. We have recipes for that. But a lot of the protein bars are marketed towards kids, and even cereals now are coming out with high protein. But I really encourage anyone to look at the ingredient list, because if whey protein or pea protein is not one of the first few ingredients, there's very little protein in it. And typically these things are they're synthetically made and they're not high quality protein like eggs, beef, chicken, Greek yogurt, which are much better choices for kids and families.
Now, I go to bed by the TV every night. That's a bad habit, I know. But I put the TV timer on, 30 minutes, and I'll fall asleep. But it's a blue screen that comes up. And I understand that blue screens are not good for your...
Melatonin production.
There you go.
Oh, I'm so glad that you brought this up. Sleep is king and nutrition is queen. This is something we help all families and kids understand. So your routine within an hour and a half before bed really should be no electronics, no video games, no screens, no email, drinking a little bit of water. You really shouldn't be eating a heavy meal before bed because your internal core is going to rise and that's going to inhibit quality sleep. So for anyone that says, well, I just can't sleep well, check what you're doing in the hours leading up to bed. And then also, are you having caffeine later in the day? A lot of kids right now too many sugary beverages, drinking pre-workouts, energy drinks, which it's all nonsense. So a big part of what we do is get them into a sleep routine. The National Sleep Foundation recommends 9 to 11 hours of sleep for adolescents, and then adults anywhere from 7 to 9. But the more active you are, the more stressed out you are, the more sleep that you're going to need.
Well, the latest thing is caffeine. They're saying 4 cups of coffee, like you have coffee for breakfast, and then right after breakfast have coffee at lunch, and a cup after lunch. Is that, and then no more the rest of the day. She's having a heart attack over here.
Well, it goes against, the Nutrition with Wendi routine of wake up and drink water, wake up and eat your 20 grams of protein within 20 minutes.
No caffeine.
I drink coffee. I'm not against coffee. There's research to support the antioxidant
Thank
benefits.
goodness.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't touch the caffeine. But the challenge is that when you're skipping meals, your blood sugar dips and then you are craving things, you overeat at your next meal, and the whole process just perpetuates. It's a nasty cycle. So when people go without eating protein and obviously, fruits, vegetables, fiber, that's where then they're reliant upon caffeine. But caffeine actually doesn't energize you. It just blunts the fatigue response. So I'm not against caffeine, but I would say most people don't need their additional coffee if they would actually eat some steak and eggs for breakfast with some fruit.
It's just like our grandparents who were farmers and whatever. They got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. They had a big heavy breakfast with steak and eggs and all that stuff. And they lived to be like 100 years old.
Yeah.
And they worked and they did that. So some of that, going back to some of that real life stuff is good. Okay, before we get out of here, I know we're running long, but I got to ask. Energy drinks. Everybody's drinking energy drinks. Are they scary? Are they bad? Or
wine.
That's a whole other thing. I don't know. I don't want to get attacked here. If I take away people's alcohol, they might come for me with their pitchforks. So I always say this: if you need an energy drink for energy, that's like rearranging furniture on a sinking ship. Eventually, it's going down. So we do not support energy drinks. They have a lot of caffeine, 3 times the amount that's recommended for children and even adults. I think a lot of people just would benefit from drinking water, getting their 9 to 11 hours of sleep, having protein at every single meal, and then getting away from the Monsters, the Red Bulls, things like that. I just think that it's become completely chaotic, and we've gotten away from the fundamentals of whole food, real sleep, and I would just really like to see things go in a different direction because the obesity crisis is tumultuous and terrifying.
And red wine at night before I go to bed.
One glass, a couple of times a week. We'll give you that recommendation from a dietitian.
See, I love that.
All foods fit.
Well, I've got a ton of questions that we didn't get to ask, but that's what this show is about, is to teach you that there are people in our midst that you can go wherever you are in the country and you can have a consultation with Dr. Wendi Earlbeck. How do they get in touch with you?
Yes, so you can reach out to us. My team and I, we're registered dietitians. We are certified sports nutritionists. We help families. Reach out to us, nutritionwithwendy.com, Nutrition with Wendi on Instagram, and then Wendi Earlbeck on Twitter. Tons of free tips. You literally don't even have to talk to me and you can get results. Just
You're
go
awesome.
follow the info.
And it's Wendi with an I and Earlbeck with an I. Eyes have it. See?
Thank you so much for having me.
You're awesome.
Wendi has athletes, professional athletes all over the country. We're talking about, you're from Texas,
Oh, yeah.
and you have some professional athletes in Texas that talk to you.
A lot of high school athletes, a lot of programs, a lot of sports nutrition education to get the kids into the routine, coaches, parents too. We can help you no matter where you're located.
All right, you guys got the scoop, and you got a lot of questions I bet you need to ask. Well, call Wendi because she will have all the scoop for you.